What's going on, guys? My name is Isaac, and today I'll be working on my newest addition to my fleet. This is my 2001 Chevy 2500 HD. It's got the 6-liter V8 and a 4L80E transmission in it. Today I'm going to be rebuilding the front end of the truck, doing new spindles, redoing the shocks and everything else on it. And then later on, I'm going to do another video redoing the lift kit on it, because it's got a 6-inch lift on it and it's unnecessary. All that I have for the truck right now, this was the old lift kit. This was a 6-inch spindle, dropping it back down to the stock size spindle. These are brand new. Got inner and outer tie rod links, new shocks, and we'll be rebuilding the brakes. So that's what I got to do, and we're gonna start with the passenger side of the truck. Let's see how this goes. Bear with me, this is going to be a lengthy video. So I'm going to start by removing the old wheel hub of the 6-inch spindle. And I'm going to install it on the new spindle. Now on the back of these spindles, it's a 15 millimeter. It's a 15 millimeter bolt. After you get the wheel hub out, you can take your old spindle and just throw it out of the way. And you can grab your new one. And what I've been doing is just taking the hub, putting it on the ground. I know someone's probably gonna say something about that. And just flip it, put the spindle on top, take the bolts, thread them in, and tighten them down. There most definitely is a torque spec for these. So I'm going to tighten them down. Tighten them down with an impact and go back over it with a torque wrench to get the proper torque spec on them. Torque spec for the wheel hub to the spindle is 133 foot-pounds apparently. It's a lot. I had to run to O'Reilly's to buy new sway bar linkages, because sway bar linkages I have are for the lift kit, and since I'm taking the lift kit off, I don't need them. So you'll take your sway bar linkage. If you're going to be getting rid of the lift kit you have, remove these. You gotta remove this and remove this. And then after that, you'll thread these on there. That's how you install these. So when you're installing your sway bar linkage and you're dropping the lift kit, you need to remove these brackets. This is a 6-inch rough country lift, so it came with these brackets. You're going to remove these, remove this, and then this should be what your stock sway bar linkage looks like. You'll put this in place of that. It'll poke through this right here, and it'll poke through your lower control arm. Now that you removed your lower and upper brackets, you can stick these in here like this. Stick them in like that, then put in your lower. Yes. Bada bing, bada boom. Of course, tighten it. After putting these in, tighten them 14 millimeter on top, 14 millimeter on the bottom. Tighten them until the bushing is not flush, but making contact with the sway bar and the control arm. So I'm gonna be putting in my new shocks. These are rough country shocks. I'm new to trucks, so I really didn't know what to go with. So these are just straight up rough country premium shock absorbers. And these are, I think, the 0 to 4 inch lift, because I'm doing a 2-inch leveling kit on this truck instead of the 6-inch. So I got the 0 to 4 inch shock absorbers. So the 6-inch mounting bracket is different from these. So you're gonna remove this and you're gonna install this one on there instead. This will come with the 2-inch leveling kit, but if you're not doing the 2-inch leveling kit and just swapping out everything, then just leave what's there and just replace the shock. But if you're swapping it out, it's literally just a bolt that goes into the lower control arm. So just remove the bolt, put in the new one, call it a day. Get the shock in, tighten it down. It seems to be 14 millimeter. Tighten down the shocks so that they don't go anywhere. Make sure they compress. They do. If the bushings that come with a shock don't exactly match the type of bushings that are needed for this truck, but I'm going to try them and see if they work. And if not, it's a simple fix. Just put bigger bushings on there. Because there's not enough thread compared to the amount of space needed for the bushing, and there's a little gap right here, so we'll see what it does. After putting the shock on, now you can start putting the spindle on. So that'll be the next thing I'm doing, and then after I do the spindle, I'm going to tighten up the A-arms, which, yes, I know that should have been the first thing I did, but besides the point. I wanted it to be able to move up and down freely. So I'm going to start by putting in the lower nut for the lower ball joint first. Snug it up. That I can just leave it hanging so that I can move my hands. But after that, you have to lift it up so that it will go into the top ball joint, the upper ball joint. Alright, what I did was I got a jack, put it underneath the spindle, jacked it up so that I could get it in range of the ball joint. Now I'm gonna take the bolts and everything, put them on. Alright, and there, your spindle is now mounted to the ball joints. After that, you'll do the brake. You'll do the brakes, you'll do the tie rod. Now, I had to do a complete rebuild on this front end. Because half the ball joints and the tie rods were both all shot. So I'm literally doing everything. At this point, since you have the spindle on, you could actually put on your speed sensor. Bolt for the shock is 21 millimeters. So I got 21 millimeter wrench, and then I got my 21 millimeter ratchet, and just tighten it down till you're comfortable with it. There, it's tight. So bolt linkage tight. Still gotta tighten up these. I think those are a 19. Upper one's a 19, and your lower is probably gonna be a 22. So tighten those up. Make sure they're good. Make sure it's all good and tight. On top. And then you can put in your cotter pins and bend them so they don't come out. Alright, after getting the inner tie rod threaded in, tighten it all the way up. Then you can get your outer tie rod. You can thread that in. Doo-doo-doo. So now that you got that done, you can put your outer tie rod in the spindle. So your tie rod does go on the underneath. You'd think there'd be a washer. It goes on the underneath, on the other side of the spindle. You can put in your little nipple for the joint. That's weird that there's not a washer there. But after that, that's the most part of the assembly done. Now, the last thing you do is you put the brakes and assemble the brakes. But this is, for the most part, this is your assembly. You have lower control arm, upper control arm, your spindle, wheel hub, tie rods, and your pivot, your swing arm, and then your shock. So this is this is your wheel assembly for a 2001 Chevy 2500 HD. I hope this helps someone out, and yeah, I hope y'all have a nice day. And please let me know if y'all want to see more videos like this, or what y'all think. Thank y'all. Have a nice day.